everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to game 57 of the tournament. It's turn 11. Play random Vanarus. I forget the intro every single time. Fuck it, let's go. We've summoned a Firebird. We've found a Tar Pits. We're about to lose that Tar Pits because Nidavanger is continuing to press the attack. So they attacked into Yrik Balcor this turn. Still this stack of Nidbetheds and Wolf Clan Reavers. We don't really have much going on here. I think 6 PD. So sucks that we're going to lose that. Probably it's not going to do any real damage either. The Nidbetheds rush in front of the Wolf Clan Reavers. Yeah, no damage. That's unfortunate. We attack into Ivanmore because we really need the territory. I mean, this could be worse. We've got a fair number of Herdmen here. They should do well. They did do well. Oh, we got a quick route too. That's nice. That could have been worse if they had actually held for a little bit. And as it is, we lose nothing. So that's really good. Unexpected event in the Deadlands. A harsh law against vagrancy has been decreed. Plus 25 resources and minus 50 population. That's actually not bad. And then in Griffin Spires, a magical bird of wondrous color. Spire! We take it. Air 2, Water 2. So not the biggest events, but, you know, we've got them. Urgek Beast Brother has been bought. Cool. Okay, so Satis did not attack us last turn. Nidavanger did attack us last turn. And we can see they do have reinforcements. So the daisy chain cometh, right? So 50-ish enemies, Bear Clan Warriors and Nidbetheds. We already know what Nidbetheds do, right? They're a sacred unit. They have basically an extra life equal to the number of scars that they have. Scars are determined by their dominion. They get 50% of their dominion. We know at least the previous ones had 4 scars or were rocking 4 scars, so likely around 8 dominion, which is, I think, a pretty common thing when you're using Nidbetheds to try to get them up to at least 8 dominion and try to get 4 scars or 4 lives. The bless that they have isn't the craziest, but Undying 10 is kind of a pain in the ass. Basically gives them almost a 5th life. So that is kind of annoying. The Bear Clan Warriors, so we've seen the Wolf Clan Reavers. Bear Clan Warriors are fuck. Actually, Bear Clan Warriors are my favorite thing about Nidavanger. So these guys, 14 base protection, Berserker 3, and a battle axe that hits for 25 damage. Youch. They're not all shits and giggles though. They are undisciplined and they are bad formation fighter minus cheer. So they don't. You can't give them formations because they're undisciplined, and they don't pack in well. So they are an issue. Part of what is an issue is that you can shit these out from basically anywhere as Nidavanger. So that is a problem. So he can mass produce these. But they do get trounced. Primarily because of their undisciplined nature and their bad formation fighter, right? Because otherwise, they're really good. But you can have 100 of these things and they don't fight like 100 of them, if that makes sense. So, that being said, this is an issue, right? So, bringing in a stack of, even if it's not quite 50, right? Like 40-ish, probably, you know, in the mark of like 30 Bear Clan, 30 to 40 Bear Clan, 5 to 10 Nidbetheds. Presumably, we're going to lose Deadlands and Cursed Land next turn, right? They hit in Yrik Balcor, they hit in Deadlands. There's no way we defend them. The PD that we have here is not good. Not good enough. Even if we dump all of our gold into it, not good enough to defend against either of these forces. Like, not good enough to guarantee a defense. And we have nothing to back them up in the area, right? Because we were so far away from our capital when we had the failed bump that we're kind of fucked. We're kind of fucked on trying to fight against it. We're not as fucked against the concept of defending against Satis. And we actually see that in the fact that we are moving 30 Herdmen over to Belmar. So they didn't attack this turn. That might have been a consolidation. That might have been something else. But we do have enough forces here, along with the fact that we have 25 PD, that I think we're actually okay to defend this. The Beast Brothers, the Foulspawn, obviously are just chapped. They're not going to do anything but die. But the Herdmen, along with the amount of Horse Tribe cavalry that we have here, I do think will do... we know this wasn't 50, because we did like 25 kills. So it was around like 25. It's possible that they've brought in more. Possible that they are bringing in more. But I think even if it is 50, I think 50 elite warriors against what we have in Belmar, I think we win, right? So that is a thing. So we're doing that. We are continuing to recruit Vanarusian sages and Chud Herdmen. The concept that we are going for right now is that we defend against Satis and either bloody Satis's nose or just make Satis feel like we're not a good target to actively fight, right? And instead they go for like territory, attack Indies, expand their territory, grow from that. And either of those options allow us to focus our attention on Nidhogger, right? Nidhogger will take 1, 2, 3, 4 turns to reach our capital if they go ham and they go directly for our capital. I think that's the wrong choice, right? I think it's pretty obvious they don't have like a heavy rush bless. I also think very nicely... What the fuck? How did I get Dominion over here? These fucking events. Playing against Vanarus or I think any of the sailing nations, get these events where you can just spawn your Dominion in somebody else's. Obviously, it's not an event for the Vanarusian player or the sailing player. It's an event for the other players. You just get these events where it's like, hey, somebody sailed here. Have fun. So, anyways, the point I'm trying to make is I got distracted. Nidhogger doesn't have the units or bless that I think is a good idea for them to just go straight ham on me. But what they should do is take the immediate territory that I presented and then continue expanding while expanding in their own territory and consolidate on our border to where I am very tiny and they are quite big for basically free, right? If they do that, they choke me out and game's done. It'll be slower, but game's done by turn 30 for me, probably, right? But if they come at me, that is going to give us the opportunity to counter. So even if they consolidate these two stacks on their way towards me, you're still looking at 100, maybe 150 units, right? In that kind of concept. In 4 turns, right? We already have 30 Herdmen here. We already have 30 Herdmen here. We're getting... How many are we getting per turn? We're getting 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15... 15.5. So we're getting about 15-ish per turn. So in another 4 turns, we're going to have another 60 Herdmen, right? So we're going to be sitting close to 100-ish Herdmen, depending on what happens. Obviously, if Satis attacks us, we might have less, right? At the same time, we are producing cavalry in Whiteport. We are now producing Lion Tribe archers in Griffin Rock. We are producing Horse Tribe cavalry in Belmar. And we're recruiting commanders in Griffin Springs and Sodarth, because we're potentially going to start recruiting heavy infantry as well. We also are recruiting Atavi archers for a small Atavi stack intended to just go behind and try to like stamp 1 to 6 PD, right? Just to kind of like slow things down. We're also building a lab in Sylvania, because if we build a lab this turn, they attack Deadlands Cursed Land. We recruit, they attack Devon. We have a new mage, either a Viedma, I don't know how to pronounce these things, or a Vieden. Probably the Viedma for the idea of Moss Body. They attack Whiteport, right? And so we have an extra mage in that situation. We are keeping our eyes open for mercs. We do have the idea of the Magnus crossbows. I considered getting them. They could do very well, but no one else is really, I say no one else, almost doing a lot of mercs earlier. So there's that situation. But I didn't think that the price that they were going to give us for the fact that we'll lose them in 3 turns, and we're probably not planning on fighting Nidavellir in 3 turns, and I don't think these are necessary to defend Belmar. So basically, I was like, nah, instead of that, let's recruit other units. Now, these aren't good archers. The Lion Tribe archers aren't good archers. The Horse Tribe aren't great archers. They do have a light lance, which is pretty useful. The Atavis are bad, right? A lot of these units are bad. If we start recruiting heavy infantry, those aren't great. These heavy infantry are better. The Knights are good. The heavy cav are good. But we're going to have a lot of mid-tier units. Mid-tier. Low-tier units. And then a decent chunk of good units with Herdmen and some heavy cav, right? In 4 turns, we're definitely going to have Alt 3. We won't have it next turn, but we will have it the turn after. If we continue producing Vanarusian Sages every turn, we won't hit Alt 4 unless we take our god off of summoning. And probably bring other, like, we have this guy out, Vasily is out, this guy's out. If we bring people back, this guy's out, and research, then we will likely hit Alt 4 basically the turn they show up in Whiteport, right? And that's a big deal. So Alt 4 would give us the opportunity to come in with Group Barkskin, which we can cast by giving a nature individual, which we have a couple, and we might have a better nature caster. Giving a nature individual a nature gem, which we have nature gems, so we can do that, right? And that's a Group Barkskin's a great early buff. Gonna be fantastic for Herdmen. We also get the option of Moss Body if we get a Viedma. That's kind of the only way that we can do that. So we won't get a lot of Moss Body, but a little bit of Moss Body can help. And the other big thing is Mistform, right? So we have several Air 2s, or we can just give Air 1s, which we have a shit ton. All of our Sages are Air 1s. We can give them Air Gems, and we can kind of paint Group Barkskin and Mistform on a bunch of Herdmen and really make them difficult to kill, and they're already very killy against what we're going up against, right? Have other options, Group Blur, etc., etc. So we're gonna get a lot out of getting to Alt 4, so that's a big thing. But we're also already Conjuration 3, which does give us access to summon lesser air elementals. Now they're not good, right? But they only require Air 1 and 1 Air Gem. They're again, they're not good, but they only require Air 1 and 1 Air Gem. We have a lot of Air Gems, and all of our Sages are at least Air 1. So while they're not good, having at the point in 4 turns, having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 math? Question mark? You know, having 10 plus being thrown out a turn or a couple of turns, like in battle for a couple of turns, could actually be a big deal, right? And so what we're looking for here is I'm fairly confident if he comes at us hard, I'm fairly confident that we can win. He's going to be very far away from his supply lines, right? It's going to be difficult for him to reinforce well. So I'm fairly confident that we can win if he comes at us hard. But the question is, or it's not the question, it's we have to win hard enough so that we can then immediately push back, take the territory that we have lost, and re-solidify a good border. Because if we win, but we don't win super hard, and we push back a couple of provinces, and then he has another big army, and then we fight, and it's kind of a draw, or he wins, right? Like the momentum is now not on our side, right? We have to win hard enough that we can push hard enough to equalize the momentum, right? If like I said, he just takes the easy territory and then keeps expanding and chokes us out, we're fucked, right? We will put up as much of a fight as we can, but we're definitely fucked. So that's the generalized playbook at the moment. Crossing our fingers, hoping that he's aggressive and allows us the battle that we need to kind of force things. Now, obviously, that'll be the other thing, right? Is if he does play cautiously and just takes territory from us, but doesn't like really push us hard, we are going to have to get aggressive then. Because if he decides to just choke us out and we allow it, if we play passively, we're screwed, right? There's no doubt at that point. If we're sitting on 10 provinces, he is eventually going to kill us. Satis is going to eventually kill us. Someone's going to eventually kill us. There's no way we win that, right? So if he plays aggressive, we play passive until we get a big fight, which we're pretty sure we'll win. If he plays passive, we are going to have to play aggressive, but it won't look well, right? And by aggressive, I mean, if he plays passive, we're going to have to empty out our fucking capital of every mage we have and probably every gem we have and just march. With maybe we leave our god back to keep crossing fingers and summoning fucking firebirds. But that's how aggressive we'll have to play. Because if he plays passive, we will have to march a massive army out to try to reestablish good borders, right? That's the only hope that we're going to have in this situation. So the next 3 to 4 turns are really going to determine whether or not we have any chance in hell in this game. And obviously, right, like I've been talking about Nidavellir a whole lot. That just ignores how hard Satis comes at us. But I do think it's a good sign that we did so much damage to them in our bump. Unlike the bump with Nidavellir, where we basically just got wiped. We killed half of the force that we bumped against Satis, right? And we're in a defensible, reinforceable position against Satis. So I think we have a much better standing with Satis to just be like, hey, all right, you won that bump. Cool. Take this northern stuff. Take good borders with us. Take that as a win. Don't press too hard. Because if they press too hard and we smack them, well, honestly, it doesn't mean very much for us. It just is resources for them. But we can try to insinuate that it means a lot for us, and hopefully gain something out of that. But that's gonna really determine, or really be determined by if we see a big army here next turn, or if something shows up and this is suddenly 100 next turn. Then all bets are off. We're getting attacked from both sides. It's gonna be a big fucking clusterfuck. Damn. So we'll have to see how that actually turns out. That's it for the turn, I think. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.